Hi, I'm Carla. This is Nick.
Oh, yeah, I'm Nick.
And this is week 36 of This Week in Weird Giraffe Games. First, we're going to talk about fire in the library.
Ooh.
So, we had a really important milestone happen this week where we got in the first assembly proof of fire in the library. So, this is what the box will actually look like. And it has magnets. So, and it really looks like a book, and it opens like a book, which is really exciting. And so when we got this, we had to go through all the components, make sure all the cards were there, make sure all the cubes were there, everything was the right numbers, but also that everything was the right color, that everything worked like we thought that it should. So there was a couple things that were wrong with it.
What's wrong with it?
The first thing that was wrong with it is that we have the scoreboard on the inside of the book cover, basically. And what we thought would happen is that the box would open and then the cover would lay flat on the ground, and it didn't. They glued it together, so we are having them not glue it together. And instead, so it can just lay flat, so that when your little librarian figurines are moving on the score track, they are flat, because while they do, you can get them to stick on this one when it's glued up like this. That's not pleasant, and they could slide. That'd be bad.
Yeah, for some reason I would have thought that it would just like kind of, but it does look like a book right now. And what will happen is it will fold down a little bit more. So this scoreboard lays flat on the ground, or on the table.
So yeah, they are not going to glue that, and they're going to send us pictures of that hopefully soon. But also, so one thing about manufacturing is that they manufacture Pantone colors. And the thing about Pantone colors is that you see them on the screen, but the color you see on the screen isn't exactly what it comes out to. It'll come out to something different. So there is a set of colors where they're like the printed Pantone colors, so you can see what a color actually is. But we don't have those. And one of the cubes, the tokens, the fire token, actually did not come out as well as we wanted it to. It came out like too dark of a red, like more of a like maroon, and maroon doesn't say fire, so we're gonna have to get that fixed.
Yeah, but they promised us it will get fixed.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
They're manufacturing the stuff that was good already, and they'll get back to us with the other stuff so we can check it off before they start making that.
Yeah.
But that's super exciting.
Look at this bag.
Yeah, we have a fire bag, and it's super fire.
This is the final bag.
Super bright and colorful, which I really like.
Everybody is going to get a fire bag so you can grab books out of the fire.
Yes.
Save them. It's exciting. Oh, I'm super excited for that bag. Okay, I'll throw that over there.
Or we don't throw anything anymore.
I love throwing things.
No, Nick, please stop.
Okay.
Because nobody likes throwing.
Get that postcard. No. Look at the postcard.
Yeah. Nick, he's always doing stuff just to annoy me.
No, it's just awesome because when you open up the Fire in the Library box, this is the first thing that's going to be on the top. You get that beautiful Beth Sobel art.
Yes, I'm excited about this, but I was surprised because they made the postcard as big as a box, which means it's like a jumbo postcard. So that was a surprise, but I mean a happy surprise. Like, this is bigger than I thought. That's better for you guys, because like if you do write a postcard, you have a lot of space to write now.
It's like a postcard.
Yeah,
it's really
or
cool.
You could just put it on the wall if you want. I mean, it's kind of small,
fridge.
But it's still big enough that you could.
Yeah.
So
that's looking really cool.
But I'm really excited about these meeples because they all came out exactly the color that I wanted them to. So they're bright and colorblind friendly and just great.
Here, I can go to the images. You can take a look at those.
So that is the status of the project image. And then we have the turn order cards with the cubes on them.
Yeah.
Oh, and so these cubes, one of the stretch goals we hit was to make 8mm cubes into 12mm cubes. And for reference, most cubes in games are either 8 or 10mm. The only game that I know of that has 12mm cubes is Imhotep. So they're about that size, which means that they're big and they're chunky and they're just really fun to pull out of the bag, I think. They're better because they're bigger.
Yeah, and here's the rules. The rules look amazing. I think Katie did a great job pulling those rules together alongside that postcard, which is the size of the box. And what's this? This is the tokens.
Yes. So going forward and back to our faces, because, like, let's get away from these pictures.
That's the wrong one.
Dreams
Okay.
of Tomorrow. That's the next game we worked on this week. We did a lot more blind play testing because, well, blind play testing. Does it ever end? It does. And it will soon. We'll probably do maybe one more, maybe two, but yes. We did a number of play tests this week and got the rules a lot better, and we had a perfectly sound play test where somebody just did it all the way right, didn't have questions, understood it all, which is great. So we have to just verify that a couple more people can do that, and then...
So doesn't that mean that blind play testing is done?
No.
You can immediately stop when somebody gets it right?
No, because maybe they're really good at stuff. Oh. Like, I don't know. Will everyone get it right?
Nobody.
So we'll actually continue even after reviewers get their copies because, like, I mean, you can't do enough blind play testing, in my opinion. Maybe once you get, like, 20 people to be able to play the game perfectly right. But everyone is different. Like, I've learned different things about different people. Like, I've had somebody that ignores images, somebody that only reads the first sentence of a paragraph, somebody that doesn't look at the notes, and another person that didn't read examples. So it's like, oh, I thought you would read all the words, but nobody reads all the words, right? So
yeah, I'm almost wondering if blind play testing is a little bit bad when you're in the room because people get really nervous that they want to get the rules right.
No, I completely disagree with you because if you're not in the room, like, so sometimes, yeah, blind play test outside the room, but also do blind play testing in the room because when you're in the room, if you're not like Nick has a lot of troubles with blind play testing because he loves telling people answers.
I do.
So if you're that person, get out of the room. Don't be in the room at all.
I love teaching games.
Yeah. But if you're in the room, you can really watch what players are doing. You can see, like, what their eyes are reading. So when I had that player that did not read images, I knew she didn't read images because I watched her eyes go and just scan, like, it would just, like, jump down the page whenever there was an image. So that's how I knew she wasn't reading images. Like, you have to read a lot of body language and stuff like that, and you can only do that when you're, like, really intense and in the room. And you also, if you're in the room, you can ask lots of questions, like very specific questions to see, like, why they're doing things like that you can't ask later, because, like, if you don't ask it immediately, then they don't know why they did the thing. They won't remember why they did each and every choice in the game.
All right, so what's that?
So, Dreams of Tomorrow. In addition to blind play testing, we started making the prototype. So this, we don't have the front yet, but we do have the back. So yeah, what this involves is we laser cut chipboard and put it together with tape, and then we folded paper on top of the chipboard, so then you just see what looks like a box. And it looks pretty well like a box, even though it takes, like, lots of folds and stuff. We also finished getting all the reference cards laminated, punched out. All the, like, little tokens and stuff are in a bag, as are all the cards and the player boards, and we're just about ready to send these out to reviewers. But they do need a front, so we need to print that out, and, well, it needs to be finalized, we need to print it, and then we need to fold it, and then wrap everything in bubble wrap and put it into our Weird Giraffe Games bag, and then put addresses on it, and finally they'll be done. Well, once Nick takes them to the post office.
So what is the front going to look like?
So it's going to look like there's going to be a big earth, and half the earth will be, like, the good earth, and then half the earth will be, like, this devastated earth. and there's a woman on the mountain, and it's all rainbowy, and it's gonna get a little more colorful than what you might have seen online, because I like lots of color, and the current back of the box doesn't have any green in it. Like, it has blue and yellows and reds, but no green, and a rainbow needs green.
Yeah. So is that it? What else are we working on?
It's almost like you weren't here for it based on your questions that
I
you're
know.
asking. But I designed the micro expansion. So what I like to do in Kickstarters is say that if you back it, you get the micro expansion for free. But if you missed it, you can just pay money for it. That's fine. So there's no losers in this scenario. There's just people that have to pay a little more. Because I don't like people to feel bad. Like, if you have an exclusive, you, like, miss out.
So what's the micro expansion look like?
So the micro expansion. In the base game, you are basically doing set collection on the dreams when you're making a dreamscape, and you have to match different things on the top and the bottom. Well, the micro expansion has double rainbow cards, which mean that they match everything top and bottom, which are not in the base game. We just have rainbow and nothing for the base game. But these cards aren't worth that much. I think one of them is even worth 0 points. So you use it in that if you really want to, like, if you're doing really good at matching top and bottom, you can get this double rainbow that doesn't add a lot of points, but it will increase your set collection points by a lot. There's also the double black cards that do not increase your set collection. They, like, shut it down totally. But they're a lot of points, so you have to weigh, like, what you're doing. Like, if you are going on a current set and you can't find any, you might go for the double black just to add in lots of points. And also they have all new abilities too, cool abilities. Of the abilities that you've seen on the cards, which one is your favorite?
I like the build. There wasn't any build ability in the original game, and I think having that, having access to a build, essentially anytime, because you can activate your totem or your dream, and then you essentially have 3 build spaces. I like that.
Yeah, I think my favorite is there's one that doesn't do anything on its own. It just adds an additional move to another ability. So with that one, if you have another ability, you can grab it and it makes that ability better. But if you ever are building your dream sequence and you cover that ability up, then the other ability becomes useless.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, because it's also what I tend to do on the cards is that the more powerful abilities go on the lower pointed cards, and the lesser abilities go on the high point cards. So that one is on the highest point card.
So would the move add a move to an ability that gives you resources? So
No.
could you get a whole ton of resources? No. Okay.
No, it adds it to things where you're
Just
already
moving. Okay.
So, like, if you have an ability to flip over a card in the collective consciousness and then move 2, you now can move 3 instead. Yeah, it's your choice.
Cool.
Yep, I'm excited. So, yeah, micro expansion. And we also started on the Kickstarter page. I actually got most of it finished today. And by most of it finished, I mean most of the text, because the pictures aren't in. We do have the headers done, but I haven't put them on the page.
They look so beautiful.
So Katie Cow is doing some of our graphics design work, and she is really, really amazing. Like, I love working with Katie Cow. Like, she takes art and she makes it look fantastic, and she knows what I want.
Yeah, those things are amazing.
Yeah, so the Kickstarter page is going to look really great, in part because she took James's artwork and just, awesomed it into headers. So, and we're deciding, like, all the things, like, all the reward tiers, like, if we're going to have a print and play option, if we're going to do the gift thing again, and I think we are. We might even offer some Fire in the Library Ultra editions. Mostly because we had to cap that off in the first Fire in the Library campaign, because it takes time to make each one of those, so we didn't want to make too many for the first campaign, but we should have time to make a few more. So if you missed out, you could, not miss out for too long.
So what about after Dreams of Tomorrow?
Oh, okay, so we work on a lot of games. every week. And another game that we worked on this week was Big Easy Busking. So, Big Easy Busking, that's our area control game about being a musician in New Orleans. And you are playing in New Orleans and you're trying to get the most money by playing the best and putting the most energy into the right crowds. This one's by Josh Mills, and he is just amazing to work with. And what we were working on this week was different kinds of crowds. Because the crowds, if you have the most energy in a crowd, you get to win it. If you have there's a threshold for if you have like at least 3 energy on the crowd, you get at least this much money. And we were just making those ranges a lot bigger than Josh had made them, and it seemed to make the game a little more interesting and a little more replayability. So I am adding in cards, which is components, but I think it's worth it to add in like a lot more replayability and variability between games. And we're also working on the sets, or the standard cards, to try to figure out what exactly we want all the standards to be. Standards are just different songs that you can play. Each player has their own songs that they know, but you can choose to play a standard that everyone knows if you play some cash to do so. So we want to make those standards like really different and unique so that each game is a different gaming experience. What did you think about those standards?
I liked them.
Okay, that's
I like the ones that add an ability. I think that's a really cool addition to the game. It adds a lot of replayability in different maneuvers. I liked it almost changed around the strategy a little bit because you're now taking advantage of that ability. So I think that was cool.
Yeah, so one of my favorite parts in the playtest was I had this thing where I was using this ability, and I had used it in the prior 2 rounds, and in the 3rd round I was like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get the benefit from this, and my whole plan hinges on it, but I don't have to worry. And it was an ability where if other people joined in and playing the song you're playing, you get more energy, and then no one did. And I was like, oh, that's different. Okay, I just have to deal with that now, which I always like in games where I'm surprised by what other players do.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what are we doing this week? Or
what are we doing this week? I don't think we ever talk about that. But we do? I don't know. We're gonna try to finish these reviewer copies, so if anyone's in Huntsville and loves folding paper, just tell me, and I can let you in on this whole folding paper onto boxes thing.
It's really good practice at origami. So.
Oh, and we also missed out that we've been making tokens for Fire in the Library, and Nick's being a weirdo.
I was wondering where those Meeple Source tokens were.
Yeah, they're on the floor.
We didn't show those. Did we show those?
But I'll get them.
Because we got them. We got them in.
On the floor. But yeah, so all the Meeple Source, or all the laser cut tokens, the jumbo ones, are all in bags and separated and counted and great. All because we had help from friends, so thank you, Spencer, for helping cut out the tokens, and thank you, Michael and Jen, for actually separating the tokens, and also Jamie. So we had lots of help, but the jumbo tokens are all separated, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
And
Meeple Source.
Because we forgot about it, these Meeple Source tokens, which looks like books. Well, they all look like books a little, but the Meeple Source tokens are really
the fire
bright
one's the best.
And colorful, and they're in, so we are ready almost to send them out. So one thing that we do have to do is take them all out of the packages that they're in.
That so cool.
As the fulfillment partner that we use, that we'll probably use for Fire in the Library, is Quartermaster. And what Quartermaster needs from you when you send them stuff is a barcode on everything. So this week we're also going to be printing out barcodes and barcoding things, putting stickers on each and every one of these before we send them to Quartermaster, because otherwise you have to pay 5 cents each, and paying 5 cents on each.
It's a lot when it's like
2,500. Yeah.
Barcodes are much cheaper to buy.
Well, we're not going to do it with 2,500, Nick. It's almost like Nick doesn't know how many things we've sold, which it definitely wasn't 2,000 Meeple Source tokens, as we only ordered 500. So we'd be, that'd be terrible. Terrible, Nick. But yes, barcodes. Did you know that publishers did that? Sometimes they do.
Could do a whole cardboarding with Carla on barcodes.
No, we couldn't. That'd be lame.
That sounds lame.
That would be the worst, and I wouldn't do it. But anyway.
I paid sales tax this week.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Sales tax. That's exciting.
How exciting is that?
The exciting life of publishers. We put things in bags. We put stickers on the bags, and then we pay the taxes.
How many games did we play this week?
I don't know.
None.
I played games.
Oh, wow.
We're not the same person, actually. Nick sometimes forgets that.
How many did you play?
I just said that I don't know because you didn't tell me you would ask me that, and I'm on camera now, and I'm like, what are we still doing? Because normally we end it, and I'm going to say, like, the thank yous at the end.
Okay, let's do that.
Thank you for watching. We're really grateful that you did this. Well, you watched. If you have any feedback, please send it to us. You can email me at contact@weirdgiraffegames.com or on Twitter. I'm at Weird Giraffes. So thank you for watching. I'm Carla. This is Nick, and we're Weird Giraffe Games.
Bye-bye.
Yay.